Dallas Mavericks star Luka Doncic was the third overall pick in the NBA draft just 2 seasons ago, but when you watch him play, you would think he is a seasoned veteran. In just 2 years, Luka Magic has helped the Mavericks make the transition from the Dirk Nowitzki era much easier and seamless, as the city now has a new European hero to root for. In the 2019-20 regular season, Luka averaged 28.8 points, 8.8 assists, 9.4 rebounds, and 1 steal on 46.3% shooting. And what's even crazier is he lit up the Los Angeles Clippers in his playoffs debut, averaging 31 points, 8.7 assists, and 9.8 rebounds with a 50% field goal percentage in the series. Had injuries not derailed him, the Mavericks would most likely have been able to push the Clippers to 7 games and perhaps even beat them. But how can Doncic be so good so early into his NBA career? Today we're going to take a look at what makes Luka so good and what his secret for a quick rise to superstardom really is. Make sure to watch until the end for Luka's biggest NBA secret. We're certain it'll blow you away. But before we do that, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let's get right into the video. His gifted physique. While this apparently isn't immediately obvious to most NBA fans, Luka has a gifted body that is perfectly suited for NBA basketball action. Looks might be deceiving as Luka isn't really ripped nor has some big biceps, but his frame is exactly what most teams are looking for in our modern league. He is a 6'7" point forward with a near 7-foot wingspan. He possesses some heavily underrated strength as well, and that's exactly what allows him to dominate most opposing wings and drive towards the rim almost unbothered. That strength also helps him to hold his own on the defensive end of the court. And even though he somehow received a vote for the all-defensive first team this season, he is not at that level just yet. But considering he is just 21 years old and has a long wingspan for his size, we should all expect notable improvements in his defense over the next couple of seasons. That's without accounting for him possibly growing an extra inch and the fact that he won't be entering his athletic prime until he's around 28 years old. Doncic is another perfect example of the way the game of basketball is trending. Do-it-all players with height and length. Just imagine how good Stephen Curry or Chris Paul would be if they had been born with the same physical gifts as Luka. That's how high Doncic's potential is, and while it sounds cliche, the sky is truly the limit for him. Keep watching for Luka's true secret though. His outstanding basketball IQ. Even the top prospects in each year's draft classes come into the league still a bit raw and with a lot of skills to further develop. But Doncic has been able to stand out due to his absolutely amazing basketball IQ. For me, basketball is like playing chess, said Luka after a win over the Los Angeles Lakers in early December. It's so hard to be truly outstanding in the NBA, especially as a young player trying to make a name for himself. But Doncic has made it seem effortless. His court vision helps make the game so easy for him and also makes life easier for his teammates. His vision and his height combined give Doncic a huge advantage against some of the shorter guards he's sometimes matched up with, as it's hard to do much against a guy that has full vision plus some extra inches over you to make early reads and find his teammates with ease. Having such great vision is certainly not enough though, as you can also point to Doncic's great decision making as a big plus for Dallas's offense. And while he does average a bit over 4 turnovers per game, that number is nothing compared to the types of risky passes he attempts and makes. He's still so young and has much more experience to gain that it's scary to think how much more advanced his feel for the game will be in 5 to 10 years. His great IQ combined with his stellar floor vision and excellent decision making are without a doubt some of the keys that have propelled his rise to superstar status. His flawless offensive game. Most players in the league have that one or sometimes even more than one noticeable hole in their offensive game that limits them from greater success early on in their careers. For Ben Simmons or Giannis Antetokounmpo, it's their jump shot. For Kawhi Leonard and Jimmy Butler, it was their playmaking abilities. But in comes this young guy from Slovenia that has literally 0 holes in his offensive game, and it is only a matter of time before he makes his mark in the league. First, he can create his own shot. Any type of shot he wants to get up, he can take it. He shot 60.7% within 10 feet from the basket last season and a ridiculous 75.2% in the restricted area semicircle. And him being this good inside the paint is not a result of cherry-picking open lanes, as he takes almost half of his 20-plus shots per game from 10 feet in. The other big chunk of his shots is taken from behind the three-point line. When you look at Luka's three-point percentage, he might look like a mediocre shooter at best. Doncic shot 31.6% from deep this season and 32.7% in his rookie year, marks way below league average. But if you actually watch him play and look closer at the numbers, they tell a whole different story. 80+% of Doncic's three-point shots are pull-ups, and only 13.9% are from catch-and-shoot variety. This is not to justify his low three-point percentage, but to provide full context of his game. Even with all these awfully hard shots he takes, Doncic is still able to remain an overall efficient shooter, which is unbelievable. And needless to say, Luka also has the deadliest step-back three in the game other than James Harden's. Luka's passing is also up there with that of the best playmakers in the league today. He finished third in assists per game this season, behind only LeBron James and fellow draft classmate Trae Young, and that's without even accounting the high difficulty of some of his passes. He's especially good at setting up others for threes, as 4 of his teammates shot 39% or better than 3 immediately off his passes. Luka is an offensive mastermind that powered the best regular season offense in the league by a wide margin, and as already said, still has a lot of room and time for growth and development. But what is the true secret to Doncic's incredible rise to superstardom? Playing professional basketball since age 16. We always hear how there's no substitute for experience, and that certainly applies in basketball too. The amount of pressure and the type of responsibilities Luka Doncic was handed at such a young age made him probably the most well-prepared athlete to ever declare for the NBA draft. He got used to playing against older and better competition ever since he was 8 years old and started playing organized basketball. He has always had a desire to look for better competition, and that undoubtedly helped him thrive in high-pressure situations later as a part of the Real Madrid club from Spain and eventually in the NBA. Before ever playing an NBA game, Doncic was already a EuroLeague MVP, EuroLeague champion, Liga ABC MVP, and was even named to the EuroLeague 2010-2020 All-Decade team. This sort of preparation and experience makes him arguably the most decorated player coming into the league in history, and that is the true secret to his quick rise to superstardom in the NBA. You just cannot teach professional experience to any young player in drills or practices. Did anyone expect him to be this good this early? Probably not. But he had always been on track for greatness and is well on his way to becoming an all-time great not only in the NBA, but in basketball history. Do you agree on this being Luka Doncic's secret to superstardom? Is there any other reason why you think this game has translated so well into the NBA? Tell us what you think in the comments down below. And once again, make sure to leave a like on this video and hit that subscribe button.